Hello, my name is Ilona, and today is Monday, January 15th, 2024. And I want to start immediately. I actually looked at two things, and I also wanted to take a look at the week ahead. So I'm going to start with Yemen. There's, of course, all kinds of things happening there. The attacks by the US and the UK strikes on Yemen. What is going to happen there? Is it going to escalate? That was really my question. So I just wanted to take a look at what's going on there in the energy there. We know there's a lot going on in the Middle East. Of course, the dark energies want a third world war. There's, of course, a lot of things have been coming out. Also, a certain letter in the alphabet mentioning that it will seem like there's going to be a third world war. It's going to escalate. It will look like everything is lost. But ultimately, then everything will be turned around. So I do think that things will seem to be escalating. But I just wanted to take a look at the energy of Yemen and what happened there, the strikes there. We have the first card, which is the Six of Wands. Then we have the central card, the High Priestess. For the past, we have the Page of Pentacles. Underneath the central card, we have the Page of Cups. And for the future ahead, we have the Five of Cups and the Seven of Cups. So to me, this feels like a lot of hurt will come up. So it probably will lead to all kinds of other things. And there's still a lot of confusion what is truly going on there, especially with the Seven of Cups. So I do believe that things will seem to be escalating. Still, of course, a lot of things happening in the Gaza area. And it's just so much needs to be cleared there as well. There's so much energy going on for years. There have been all kinds of things happening in the Middle East. And this is really about, in a way, cleaning up things. But there's still a lot of secrets that need to come out. The High Priestess to me feels like there's still some layers, some veils, I think is the correct term. But it's not clear what is going on. People can't see things clearly. And the Six of Wands tells me that there has been a victory, that apparently this actually what happened led to something else. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Whiteheads took this to clear out things as well, certain puppets on certain positions. It was very interesting because, of course, a lot of parliaments weren't really aware of this. I believe the Congress in America were not aware that this was going to happen. Great Britain, they weren't aware either. If I'm not mistaken, there was actually some support from the Netherlands, and the Dutch parliament weren't, aware of this as well. So this is kind of showing what's going on. It's like an opportunity with the Page of Cups given to show people things, because it's very strange that this could just happen. But it wouldn't surprise me if some have cleared because of this as well. But it will all be in the background, especially with the High Priestess. It's all secretive. You can't really see what's going on, but the period ahead will be very painful, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, and it will be very confusing what is truly going on. So what we're seeing may not be completely what is really going on. I think that a lot of things we're seeing may not be completely what is truly going on. But again, that is for something else. I'm just working with what is being, publicly known now. And this, of course, has been coming out on the news. So people are focused on that. And the energy is that for that period, for that place, that area, a lot of pain and hurt is going to come up. A lot of confusion. So we're still in a very confused era, and I think, or area there, and I think it's still very unclear what's truly going on. But things are happening. I do believe that things are moving ahead, especially with the Six of Wands here. I do believe there was some kind of victory, and this may sound very strange, but I do believe that the Whiteheads have taken care of this as well. Like they use all these things also to clear out people, getting certain people with dark energies, those puppets, getting them out of these positions. And it's also showing people again that these things just happen without the parliament even being aware of it. And it's very strange, but this is all necessary. This is all about waking up. The other thing I wanted to talk about, that's the second subject, Instead, of course, the World Economic Forum is gathering again in Davos. It's Davos. In English, it's Davos. There was this entire discussion in Dutch, how you pronounce it, and that is pronounced as Davos. And in English, it's Davos, if I'm correctly. But in Davos, they are gathering now, and something very interesting is happening. Is they're going to talk about a new disease. It's called X. It's very interesting that they're using the same term as Twitter now. You know, Twitter is now called X, and they're using the same term, and this is going to be awful. And of course, World Health Organization boss Tedros is going to talk about this, and there are more people. The Minister of Health from Brazil is there, and also someone from the Netherlands, the company Philips, the CEO. Very interesting, is going to be talking about this as well. So there's some Dutch there as well, although I do believe that Mark Rutte will be going towards, or is already there because it's already started today. I believe it's also in Davos, and also Maxima, our queen, is there, and more people just worldwide. It's very interesting to see. So they all gathered there, and they're going to talk about this new disease that is going to come up, and it's going to be more lethal, and it's going to be horrible, and they need to be prepared. They need to make things already for something apparently that hasn't been discovered yet, but we know that in the past they've done the similar things. They've talked about cyber attacks, and then a few months later suddenly all these cyber attacks happened. And they've also mentioned, you know, what has been going on the past 4 years before that, and months later it suddenly arrived. So you could almost seem like they're doing it themselves. So it's almost like they've got the agenda and they're rolling it out. So this is very on the nose to me. So I just wanted to see what the energy was. So the first card I got was the 9 of Swords. We've got the 8 of Swords. That's a central card. In the past we have the King of Pentacles. Underneath the 8 of Swords we've got the Knight of Wands. This is very interesting to me. And then for the future, we have the 2 of Wands, and we have the Lovers card. So the 2 of Wands and the Lovers card. This is very interesting. So it will seem like they're trying to create fear again, this feeling of powerless, feeling powerless. This is going to happen. We need to be prepared. They're trying to get that energy, that low frequency. But there's something else going on. This is got some whitehead influences. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if they done it on purpose to emphasize things, because it's so in your face. I read about it and I was like, yeah, right. They're starting again. And it's so obvious. And that's usually not their agenda, to be that obvious and to have it known so much. Usually people were not aware of what the World Economic Forum was talking about at all. But now it is known. People are seeing this, and this is really on the nose. So I have a feeling, it didn't surprise me. I thought when I saw this card, it was like, oh, hey, this is interesting. But just thinking about it, it's not that, surprising that the Whiteheads are involved with this, because this is so on the nose. But this is about creating fear, creating that feeling that you don't have power, you don't have control. That's what they've been doing all this time, to get the energy to create things. Because they need our energy. They need that lower frequency. They feed off of it, and they need it to create things. But I don't think a lot of things are going to happen with this. Especially with the two of Wands is mostly about standing still. He's just standing there between 2 wands, looking at the world, and that's really what they need, that energy to create things. But it's up to us, it's up to humanity to decide if we're going to give our energy towards this or not. It's up to us to make that decision. To really see what's been going on all this time, they need our energy, they need our focus. So to me, this is just, I kind of have to laugh about this. They're going to try again, but I'm not going to, get dragged in with this manipulation. So really, if you're still feeling fear because of this, feel through it, heal that part. Those are still parts that need to be healed inside yourself. You can handle, work with your own energy, so you can let go of this. You can step out of this feeling of feeling powerless, like you don't have any control. We do. We have our energies. And it's really about focusing our energy. Where do we want to focus on? We can just, read this and just let it be for what it is. Not give it our energy, not focusing on that anymore. They are going to try all kinds of things. The World Health Organization is trying to get this treaty through. And I think a lot of people, or a lot of, countries have already signed because of their involvement with the World Economic Forum, the puppets on those places. They most likely have already signed, but it doesn't mean that we have to go along with it. We still have a choice. We actually always have a choice. Just because they signed something doesn't mean we have to comply. And we really need to understand that. We just refuse to comply, refuse to give it energy. It will not go anywhere. It will just stand still. They won't be able to do anything. I don't think they even have the money or the tools to do this. They would have done it by now. Really, they could have already started in last July, August, and hoping they'll be able to do this, past winter in a way. There were a lot of talking about this. A lot of people like, oh, they're going to try to do this again. And it just didn't happen. And to be very honest, I don't see it happening anytime soon, at least not in the Netherlands or in other countries. But it's interesting to see if they really had those tools to do these things, they would have done it already. So that should give you a clue that this is really on the nose. It's very obvious. It's very in your face. So it doesn't surprise me if the white hats are behind this purposely to show this to people. And of course, seeing the dots, they talk about something like cyber attacks, and months later, there are suddenly cyber attacks, and they're going to talk about this, and they probably will going to try to bring out something, but it doesn't mean it's going to go anywhere. I'm sure they've got somewhere this new thing, they probably have it somewhere, but I don't think they have the scale to do this on the same grand scale they did with what happened the past 4 years. So of course we'll have to wait and see, but it's about making choices from the heart. Are we still going to be manipulated in this way or not? And that's up to us. The other thing I wanted to take a look at is the week ahead. And it's interesting enough, for the energies for this week, we have the 9 of Cups, the Page of Cups, and we have the 3 of Wands. So this doesn't feel like a very awful week in a way, especially with the 9 of Cups. This is like a wish card. So I do think for people that have been working with this information for a very long time, there are going to be some victories or something coming out that will help people, that will be important that it's coming out. Doesn't mean that everyone is going to react, kindly to it, but it's necessary that things are going to come out. So I do believe that there's going to be a more relaxing week in a way. Although what is relaxing in this time period? But last week was really so much coming out. It was like information on top of other information. And we have the 3 of Wands. So just see what comes out. Just kind of lean back the coming week and see what's happening around the world, what is happening. But I do believe that this won't be a very hectic week in that way, like last week. It's going to be more, in a way, grounded. But things are going to come out. Maybe about the stings are going to come out that will be very important for people to hear. What they're going to do with it, we'll have to wait and see, but more and more things are going to come out. Doesn't mean that this is going to be worldwide, but I do know in the USA there's a committee that is really talking about so many things. I shared something this morning about they want to stop all these stings because it really is awful, and this is coming out. And of course it will take time for worldwide that these things are going to be announced, but I do believe that this week it will be more relaxed in a way, more enjoyable week than what we had last week. And also the advice is the 7 of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and we have the 10 of Wands. So the advice for this week, it's very important, use your discernment, the Queen of Swords. I also shared that these aliens that were found in Peru, that was a hoax. It's now actually coming out that it's completely untrue. So we really need to use the discernment. They purposely done that to distract, but also to, show this group of people talking about aliens, how ridiculous that is. We need to really, see through that, and also in the independent media, still use our discernment. Are things really feeling, resonating with you or not? And it's up to you to make your own decisions, what you're going to follow, what you're going to listen to, and what you just put to the side. It's very important that we start living like that. We have to make our own choices. And the Seven of Swords is maybe that there are people around you that are not taking their responsibility and you are taking on their responsibility. Very important that you start cutting them off in a way, start realizing that you really can only be responsible for yourself. You are not responsible for your mother, how she's feeling, or how your father is feeling, or how other family members are feeling, or maybe colleagues or your partner. Whoever it is, if you're taking on responsibility for something that is not your responsibility, it's really time to move away from that, to take, distance. And maybe it's also time some people to cut them off in maybe family, colleagues, friendships, that it's time for you to move away from that. And also look inside yourself, because it also says something about you if there are people like that in your environment. Is there still some things you're walking away from? Is there still a fear of confronting people, of really listening to what feels right to you and following your own path? Maybe there's still some issues there, or maybe you feel loyalty to certain people. But it's very important to see what you are carrying with you. Are you carrying other people's responsibility? Are you feeling responsible for everyone and everything around you? A lot of highly sensitive people have this tendency. Then it's time to let go of this. Also, if you like a sponge and taking all these collective energies floating around right now with everything that's happening, so a collective fear, collective, all kinds of things coming up, it's time to just let go and see why you're taking on all these things. Maybe you're not grounded enough. Maybe there's still this responsibility you feel. You are responsible for yourself, and all the other responsibilities you can let go of. You can just throw these wands away from you and, stand up for yourself. And maybe it's also time to, cut people out of your life that really don't fit anymore. And you can maybe just walk away from them and see what feels right to you. Maybe it is time to just step back and let things be. Take your own responsibility. It's really, you are only responsible for yourself. Of course, not talking about young children or children, because of course you are responsible if you're the mother or the father. But it's really about taking responsibilities for people that are grown people. That's not your, it's not up to you. That is not your responsibility anymore. So let go of these energies that are not your energies. You don't have to carry the world on your shoulder. Very important to step away from that. So that's what I've got, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye.